Good morning, all. It's October 18th, Wednesday, October 18th of 2023. It is my sister's birthday, and I have to bust her chops later on because she's working right now. A friend of mine had brought up a thing where they found arsenic in the ashes at Maui. Now, I don't know if they're getting their aid, if things are being held up. I have no idea about that. I have to read up on that, which I haven't done yet. But to find arsenic, and I did read an article from NBC, because you know how they're going to support it, no matter what Joe Biden does. So I read it from them. And, of course, they're going to put their own spin on it. Although some of it seems feasible, the asbestos that's floating around in the air is from old buildings that burned from the 70s, and I'm sure they didn't convert it, because I'm sure there's still buildings here in New York City that still have asbestos in them. I mean, they're still finding it everywhere. Jesus, the World Trade Center was loaded with it. They also found arsenic in the soil, which apparently they used to use arsenic on the crops, the sugar cane and the pineapple crops back in the early 1900s. And for somehow that binded to the soil, and now the fire just fucking riled it all up again. It's possible. I don't know. I'm not a scientist. Although I don't even know if I trust scientists anymore, especially after COVID. But apparently that's where that's coming from. So I guess we'll hear more about it. I'm not 100% sure we will. It'll probably die with everything else that's going on with Maui. Because, God forbid, anybody says anything about aid. It's the same thing with Ukraine. We're sending them tons of money, but what the fuck is going on over there? We haven't had one correspondent go over there and see what the fuck is happening. The other thing was Biden went to Israel, and the leaders of Jordan and Palestine don't even want to talk to him. They were supposed to see him. They canceled. Is that a sign of weakness? Don't know. Do they know that Joe Biden may fall asleep in the middle of the fucking photo op? Don't know. I did watch him yesterday with Netanyahu. And he's got the old man hump. If you remember your grandfather, or if your grandfather's still alive, and he sits in his chair like this, that's the old man hump when he talks to you. Like he's looking at the floor, like he's trying to find something. Or in Biden's case, he's looking at his notes. But that's the way he talks when he's around world leaders. How does that look? That's a bad look. I mean, you can bust my balls all you want, but it's a bad look. And the other bad look that the entire world is looking at is how bad the House is. They can't find a speaker. Oh, we don't like Jim Jordan. Well, who do you like? How about that? How about we go to you and say, who do you like to be speaker? Okay? There's like 8 people blocking this fucking thing. And what are you doing? You're the laughing stock of the world right now. If you can't decide who a speaker is, how does it look for the people you're representing? Because we're sitting here going, you ain't doing nothing. You're being a bunch of big babies and you can't do a speaker. They want Hakeem Jeffries. The Democrats don't have the majority. But they say, we want Hakeem Jeffries. Really? Why? Why? Why would you want him? What has he done? All of a sudden, he's the darling of the Democratic Party. Oh, he should run for president. No, he shouldn't. He hasn't done anything. He's a supporter of defund the police, Eric Gardner Excessive Force Use Act, and 2021 George Floyd Justice and Policing Act. That's basically defunding the fucking police. And how's that working for you in democratic cities? I can tell you how it's working in mine. And the gun control measures and women's reproductive rights and condemning, along with other congressional Democrats, the overturning of Roe v. Wade, which they had 50 years to codify, so they're full of shit about their outrage. But the Republicans, they're not going to be in this office much longer if this shit keeps up. Because of your infighting and your bickering, they're going to vote you out to people who actually can do the work. I don't think they realize this. I think they're so embedded in their seats, they think they'll never lose them. And people are going to show up at the polls going, you know what? You big fucking babies can't make decisions just in your own little circle? Fuck you. I don't want you representing me. And that's the way it should be. They work for us. They forget that once they get in there. They work for us. We don't work for them. Every election is a job interview. And they have to interview to keep their job. And they're not doing good. They're not doing good. Now, Democrats ain't helping. And they won't. And they never will. You know, because once they get the majority, that's going to happen next election. The Democrats are going to get their majority back. I can see that happening because of all this bullshit chaos with the Republican Party. They'll get the House, they'll get the Senate, and if things go the way they are right now, Trump may have the White House. May. There's no guarantees in anything. Ask Hillary Clinton. So, next year is going to be a fucking shit show with a lot of these people having to go for re-election. And a lot of people are going to remember this. And they may keep the Republican in power, but it ain't going to be the one that's sitting there now. Sorry. You clowns think that this is a lifetime job. It isn't. It isn't. And once the American people turn around and finally fucking smart up, they'll get rid of these people on both sides. Okay, so, you know, maybe the fucking squad will finally take a walk too. But people are generally, as George Carlin once said, people are generally stupid and easy to control, so this is what happens. The government doesn't want critical thinkers. They don't need that. That doesn't help their self-interest in their bottom line. Start using your head. You want a Republican in office? That's great. You want a Democrat in office? That's fine too. But get the person who's going to work for you and not their self-interest. Because right now, the Republicans who can't pick a speaker are looking at their self-interest. And it's not helping. Because remember, next month we have another fucking government shutdown looming. These assholes can't fucking figure out a speaker. We're going to trust them with a budget now? I think everybody's got to go. That whole thing needs a turnover. But who am I, right? Anyway, you all have a good day. And booyah, everybody.